Hi everyone, thank you for joining today. This is going to be a webinar about Swoop for advisors, what's new, what's with the portal, and how we can help your practice and your clients. My name is Chris, I look after the advisor channel, and I'm joined by my esteemed assistant Ryan. Do you want to just give yourself an introduction, Ryan?
Well, thank you very much, Chris. Esteemed assistant, glamorous assistant, I'll take it either way. So I work on the customer success team, and I'm here on Super Advisors. So familiar with, I think, a lot of you already, and not with some of you, but basically our job is to help support you make the most of this for your clients and build it into your practice as well. Long introduction.
Thanks, Ryan. So what we're going to do, a bit of an agenda. We're going to just tell you about the platform and such, what we do currently, how we can help you practice. We will dive into the portal and how you can help your clients, and we'll also show you what we can help with as well. So in terms of Swoop, this is everything that we can help with. So anything business financial, we should be able to help. I used to work in the bank. If I had this in the bank, what a difference it would make to small businesses. So at the top, we've got loans or funding. There should be a vast array of options for your clients, depending on what sector and how we can help. At the top, you've got asset finance, so anything car, machinery, anything like that we'll be able to help with. We also deal with invoice finance, merchant cash advance, working capital, startup loans. We also deal with tax loans as well. You might have seen the changes with time to pays recently. We also help with that. That can be done over 3 months, corporation tax and self-assessment that can be done over 12 months as well. We can also help with commercial mortgages as well. So if your clients are buying a commercial property or looking to refinance or any situation, we'll try and find a solution for. At the left-hand side, we also do equity funding as well. So ranging from high net worths, angel funding. So we have about 300 investors on our panel now that can help with that. All we require is a pitch deck. This gets sent to the team and hopefully we can get some capital investment for the business. On the right-hand side, we deal with anything grant related. So we've got a separate R&D function that can help with investigations or new claims going forward. We also have a grant finder within the platform. So if your clients are looking for grants, we look at sector, local, national, regional, and council-based, and that will show the grants that are available. So a massive tool for your practice, and I guarantee if you put that out to your clients, come and see what grants are available, they would probably bite your hand off. So a really, really good feature that you have within the portal. And at the bottom, we're very passionate about either saving or making your clients money. So we deal with anything from business accounts to savings accounts. So if they've got a large amount in their bank accounts just now and they want to spread it out, if your clients have got more than 5 to 10 employees, we can help with pensions, auto-enrollment, salary sacrifice. We've also got a platform for FX. Your clients can also submit their utility bills and we can try and save them some money on that as well. And we also deal with insurance. So anything from life cover to public liability to private healthcare, you name it, we probably deal with it. So in the array of business finance, we should be able to help your clients. We're very passionate about it. And all you need to do is upload your clients to your portal, and then we will try our best to support your clients as much as possible. It's not just startups we deal with. There's a vast array of kind of different businesses in the growth cycle that we can obviously deal with. We've got everything from startup all the way through to established businesses. So there should be something that we should be able to help in regards to where the business is in the growth cycle. How we can support you, it's not just supporting your clients. We've come up with kind of guides. We've helped with client segmentation. We can embed into existing processes. So what we mean by that, can we help with onboarding? Can we help with new clients? Can we help with the year-end conversations? Are you moving to an advisory offering that we can potentially help with as well? So it's not just a case of adding your clients and seeing what helps. We're very keen about being proactive instead of reactive. So what information can we give you to help your conversations? We've also got a marketing team that you can rely on as well. So if you've got email templates, we can put a marketing plan together. We can also help with education. So if you want to run a webinar for your clients, we're more than happy to do that as well. But we're also very keen on educating your practice as well. And we can also help with credit reports. So tons of stuff that we can help with. It's not just giving your clients the help. We're also really passionate about helping your practice as well and on your journey on what you want to achieve. Lots of economy questions at the moment. There's lots of MTD income tax conversations, so there's a lot going on. But again, we're really, really passionate about helping and kind of embedding into your practice about how we can help with most. I mentioned about the credit safe. So what we've got is an integration with credit safe at the moment. So if you've got a client that are coming on board, which I'll touch on later, we are also doing insight reports now, which can potentially help. But you get credit safe reports as part of the package with Swoop. We can also white label the platform, which I'll go into a second. Has anybody got any questions or at the moment? So now what I'm going to do just now is I'm just going to go into the portal and go into a demonstration about how we can help your clients. Ryan, anything from yourself at the moment?
Thanks, Chris. I think it's probably just maybe important while we're looking at this, maybe to think about a little bit of context, because helping with funding, it's a fantastic service. It's something that you probably want to be doing more of for your clients. I'm guessing so, otherwise you may not be on this call. But we have a bit of a kind of contradiction, right? Because SMEs, they have more and more need for funding or refinancing. We know about high growth companies. We know about the challenges, shall we say, in the economy, in the international economy at the moment. We know that advisors themselves want to be doing more of this work. But how do we square that circle with the fact that they have even less time than ever before to actually implement these changes, to actually provide this service? I think there's been some great research done involving one of our listeners on the call today, actually, as it happens, thinking about, what problems come up for a firm. And the number one is time. Time/resource, bringing on the right members of the team, having the right capacity there. So how can we make sure that you're getting the value from this without having to spend your entire Friday evenings working on Swoop stuff? So that's where a lot of this proactivity comes in, right? So a lot of you are already very familiar with the funding offering. What we're doing now, and Chris has mentioned these, some of you will have been sent them already, things like full credit score and credit limit checks for every client who's registered at your business's address, including cash balances, trade debtors, VAT liabilities, all sorts of things that we can work with. Full capital reports for each individual client that you want to investigate a little bit further, so we can actually do the legwork, come to you with a PDF, show you what's possible, and then think about how we can engage the client together on that, or how you can do it for you as well there. And other things like putting more resource into implementation, so we can come and speak to your teams. We can get a feel for their priorities, how they're having conversations with clients as well. And just making sure that what we're actually doing is coming to you with the potential opportunities, rather than you feeling as if you have to come to us when a client has asked the question. So it's going to allow you to do a lot more, and it's going to allow you to spend less time on it as well. And I think just as I wrap up there, I think Chris is ready to get onto the platform itself.
Cheers, Ryan. So yeah, in terms of the platform, this is something that we can give you as well. So this is the platform that you can have. So it'll be your own portal, essentially. What you've got just now is, this is a demo one of mine, so you'll probably be used to this if you use Free Agent, Xero, QuickBooks, Sage. All your clients will live and breathe here. To add a client on board is very, very simple. So it takes around about 2 minutes. If you're adding a client on board, these are the questions that you would need to ask. So the client's name, the revenue, what sector does the client operate in, what funding do they require, when do they need the funding, and again, what are they needing the funding for? So you can see from this list, it's quite a vast array. Long ago, a business loan can cover all aspects, but now what we're going to be doing, if a business is looking for 10, 50, 100 grand, what do they need the money for? Is a little bit of it for asset finance? Is it to improve cash flow? Is it to buy a property? It might be lots of different reasons, which means we will investigate more and to get the best options. We would also put in the director's name, and also you have full control over what you do with the client. Now we can reach out to the client to ask them what they're needing the funding for, or again, we can just refer straight to you as the accountant or bookkeeper. What I'll now show you as well is one that we've got at the moment. So say, for example, I've just added Test Limited onto the platform. this is what you're able to see. The credit score safe score will pull through. And then what we're able to do as well is we're able to see the funding matches. So if they're looking for a loan, here's the loans that would be available. And then if you're meeting a client over Zoom, face-to-face, or if a client's asked you, do you know what, I've got a funding request, you can now then go back and say, these are the potential options that are available. How would you like to proceed? What you're also able to do is you can see more information as well. So here is an example from my walker. You're able to see if personal guarantees are required, or you're able to see if it's a penalty for loans that are settled early. So a really, really good tool to see what's involved in the loan as well. If the client is looking to go ahead, for example, and say, yeah, I actually really do need a loan, what we'll then do is we'll reach out and we'll say, you've added Test Limited to your platform, how can we assist? What we'll then do is we'll pick up the heavy lifting, we'll go out to all these funders and potentially more and present you with the best options that we can find. So essentially all you need to do is add the client on board and we do 95% of the work. The documents that require are probably final accounts and 6 months bank statements, or you can integrate your bookkeeping software just like so. So we use open banking, and again, you can link all software. So we do Xero, FreeAgent, QuickBooks, and Sage, and all the other ones as well. What we're also able to do as well is we can also search for grants. And I can guarantee if you put an email out to your client base and say, see what grants are available, your clients will probably bite your hand off. If you've ever searched for grants on Google, it's a bit of a nightmare and you can go down a rabbit hole and you can spend hours upon end looking for grants, but you've got that grant finder within the tool. These are going to be specific based to the business. It's not just a general overview of all grants available. So depending on what sector, where the client lives, where the client's registered address is, turnover and what funding they're required, it will show what grants are potentially available as well. So you can see for this specific business, here are the grants that are available. We also have a grant team in the background. So if you are looking for a grant, the grant team will look and see what projects are going on within the business. Are they moving into renewables? Are they putting solar panels up, airflow pumps, EV chargers, for example? So we'll always go into more depths to see what they're looking for a grant for. And you've got a team that will look behind the scenes as well. What we've also got here as well is you've got the savings accounts, you've got the pensions, you've got the credit score improvements, research, instant VAT advances, foreign exchange, business insurance. So you're very well covered in terms of the business finance piece. What you can also do as well is we can then take that one step further. So this is a new tool that we've just released last month. So this is a portal, but if, for example, you are meeting a client in the future, what we can also do is what we can call an insight report. So what we're then doing is we're pulling information from CreditSafe. So this is just done on ABC Limited. It's just a demo company. It's not any personal data. This is all public information, data that we can pull through. So what we're actually going to be now is if you're an accountant or bookkeeper says, I am meeting ABC Limited next week, can you give me an insight report? What we then can do is we can produce this document for you. So what we're then pulling through is we can pull through the credit score, we can pull through the business overview, we're giving you a trend analysis, financial document analysis. Now, as the accountant and bookkeeper, you probably already know these figures, but we can also pull through the website, cost analysis. But the good thing for us and for you moving forward, and if you are moving into that advisory space or you're really passionate about that, can you add in that sprinkle of value-added service, we can then give you an idea of what is available. So for this client, for example, we can say lending options, they could be access 300k in short-term lending. Their VAT or corporation tax could be relevant because we're seeing 58k VAT or 25k corporation tax. Now, tax funding is not something that's well known, but could it be something that you can go and ask the client about? We can then pull through the commercial and finance options, the grant options, and again, if you can upload the bank statement, we can also see FX, banking, insurance. So what we're wanting to do, as I've mentioned and Ryan's mentioned before, is we want to provide you with all the information. Now, what you do with that information is on you as the accountant or bookkeeper, but what we want to do is now provide you with all the options to say, Mr. Client or Mrs. Client, here's the options available. By the way, I can see that you're paying an awful lot on FX. Have you thought about doing this? Or I can see that you're paying a lot on utilities. How about a review? By the way, did you know grants are available? Did you know here's the funding available? So what we're now doing is, from that proactive piece, is just giving you all the information and data that we can see, and then take that forward moving forward. I can see that I've got a question. Yeah, we can share an example, or even better, if you've got a business that you want an insight report done, we can do that as well. No problem at all. Has anybody else got any questions about the insight report or anything else that I've been through? Okay, so that's the insight report. Ryan, do you want to kind of add anything on the insight report and on the demo ones that I've just shown?
Thanks, Chris. I think that's pretty comprehensive. And again, just thinking about how this helps us, how this helps you be proactive. By taking a really targeted approach, and again, we can identify a handful of clients that might be worth talking to about funding. We can take a deeper dive into individual ones here. Then what we can do, we can find, I'm going to use the cliche, I'm sorry, but it's too useful. We can find where the low-hanging fruit are, so that what you're not having to do is spend a ton of time necessarily at the top of the relationship with Swoop, marketing this and spending a huge amount of time reaching out to all of your client base, which is obviously a big task. This will allow us to be really targeted. We can take one or two clients that you know well, that you think will respond well to any of these things, and we can work upwards and we can work outwards from there. So the beauty of a report like this is that we can look at multiple things at the same time while the hood is up, so to speak. So if we're looking at somebody's energy and we can see, actually, well, we seem to have brought on quite a few employees in the last year or so. How are their pensions set up? And that can lead into a conversation about salary sacrifice or insurance or even shareholder protection. So it's sort of finding the way in that's going to give that value to the client that we can then use as the example to build up and build out to do more things for the same client and then replicate it for others so that it's actually growing in a nice organic fashion rather than having to be forced. And just quickly, Chris, one of the examples that I'm personally proud of in the last few weeks was an introductory call that I had with one of the accounting practices we're now working with up in Scotland. And within 24 hours of that initial call, we found over £13,000 in savings, in energy savings for the firm itself. Now that's the best possible case study because yes, it's a really significant amount of money. I mean, you can hire a third of a person for that, right? But then that's the basis for saying to your clients, hang on a minute, we did this, it was this easy, it was this simple, we trust the process, and that's the best possible endorsement that those clients can have. So that's where we want to work with you. Yes, we can look at building in a marketing campaign in due course, but it's finding those opportunities that we can spot in reports like this, and then seeing how we can grow that into something more fleshed out for the client.
I promise I didn't pay Ryan to say that because it's a Scottish practice, or I'm Scottish, and it was paid him under the table for one of my practices that I look after. But I think that's the benefit that we can do. And if you do have your own office or premises, feel free to send in your utility bills because just now there is savings to be made. And if we can give you some savings back, absolutely we'll focus on that one as well. So that's the insight report. What I'm now going to focus on is what we call as a white label. So what we can do is we can brand the white label up to your practice, essentially. So if you can kind of take out the white label demo at the moment, that would be your practice logo. What I can say is welcome back. So what you can do is you can create marketing campaigns. What I've done in my local area, I've got a community group on Facebook that I'm a part of. It's just a little village in Scotland. You can put this link in there, find out what grants are available with a little pointing down figure. And then what the clients can do is they can go through this and they can look, and it doesn't even need to be clients. It can be prospects. It can be in networking groups. We give you this custom made white label link. And what they're able to do is they're able to see what's available for their own business. Now, we know as human beings and businesses, people are curious to see what's available. Now, I've mentioned grants before as it's probably one that everyone can say they've been asked about. If you put an email out at the moment to say, find out what grants are available with your link, with your logo, what you can do as a business is you're able to go through this, look for something else. I'm looking for a grant. And then just go through this. What will then you'll be able to see, the client will get directed to here. Now, you can see what funding's available for the business. So there's 24 potential results. You're also able to see what grants are available. And then you're able to go through everything that I spoke about before as well. You can go through the insurance, you can go through the energy savings, etc., etc. So, for example, if I'm a business, I was originally looking for grants and I've got 30 grand savings, or 30 grand sitting in my account. Oh, if a savings account sounds like a good idea, here's the rates that are on offer at the moment. And the good thing is as well, is that you don't even need to do anything as an accountant or bookkeeper. What then happens is that the client will then go into your specific portal and you're able to phone the client and say, you've just went through my white label, my link. I saw that you're looking for a grant. How can I help? So you can use this as an acquisition tool. You can use this as a marketing tool. You can use this as any tool you want, essentially. But what you can then do is help your client by basically not doing any manual work at all. So it's a really, really good tool to have. You can have it on your website as well as like a find finance or find funding or even just a funding page. And the good thing is it's all custom branded to your practice. So a really, really slick tool to have and really, really good for building out campaigns if you're looking to grow, if you're just looking to go into that advisory option. And again, we have seen instances where clients are looking for one thing, but they end up seeing what's available and then going through the different things as well. So what would then happen is the client would go through to your portal, you would then phone the client, and for example, if they are looking for funding, we will reach out to you as well to say, this client has went through your portal, how do you want to proceed? And then we just take it from there. And then we do all the heavy lifting to try and find the best options for the client. So again, we're just trying to add that value. We're trying to save you time. And the best bit of feedback that I take when I was in the bank is that a client can go away thinking, wow, that meeting, I've just came away with a savings account, I've saved this, I've got this grant, and I've potentially got funding for the project that I'm working on. To add that value into your meeting is priceless, to be perfectly honest. It's really, really strong, really, really powerful. And hopefully they can talk to other businesses about that as well. And Ryan, I'm going to bring you in again about your experience with the white label and how you've seen that going and what to look out for as well.
Definitely, thanks, Chris. I think what's nice about the white label is that it can be kind of, as I think Chris was alluding to, whatever you want it to be. So it's a great prospecting tool. It's a great way of managing your workload, making sure again that you've got the time and resource available to put into this, because actually some of the clients are doing a little bit of the heavy lifting as well. It's a great pre-qualification tool. It's a really good way of professionalizing some of the work that you're already doing and just giving a little bit of control to the client as well. But the key is that it's always up to you. You're always in the driver's seat. So whichever route you might go down here, whether it's the white label, whether it's the platform we looked at earlier, the standard platform, so to speak, you'd always have that. So you can add the clients yourself, you can allow them to add themselves, you're in control, and then you're in control of what happens after that. So are we going to reach out to the client directly? Are we going to reach out to you directly? Are we going to arrange a meeting between yourself, the client, and our funding team so that we're all on the same page? It's entirely up to you. And then how you want to pitch that, how you want to present that to clients, how you might want to charge for it as well down the line. Definitely something that there's always a conversation to be had on as well. But I think where we see the success of the white label in particular are those advisory firms we're working with who have offered some funding services in the past. Maybe they've sort of made a phone call to somebody they know, actually turned out to be something that they're quite good at. It's how we help you take that to the next level, so that hopefully what you've got is, a pretty sizable handful of clients every week or every month coming through this, getting in touch with you. I mean, I think, Chris or I, we're not accountants, but we know how hard it can be to get clients to reach out to you sometimes, especially towards the end of January, if they're a certain type of client. So giving them something to reach out to you on the basis of is a really, really helpful thing to do. Leads into your other services as well. Maybe you're doing management accounts, for example. This can be part of a broader offering that just helps generate those conversations. And on the success team, and again, we're very, very keen about helping you have those conversations. So whatever you need from us in terms of flyers, in terms of, even conversational tips, or again, talking to your teams, making sure they feel confident asking the question or answering the question, for example. That's how together we kind of build this into the practice, into the workflow, make it an everyday part of what your clients are expecting. and what you and your teams are able to provide them with as well.
Yeah, cracking point, Ryan, as well. And just a note on what Ryan said as well. We're not just going to give you the software and just say you deal with it yourself. You'll have access to a marketing team. You'll have a specific point of contact. What we've also done is we've also moved region based as well. So we've not had a turnover of staff, but what we've done now is we've made it region based. So you'll have boots on the ground in your area. We will know exactly what grants are available, what we'll see us at networking events. So we're starting to be more region focused now, moving forward. Last couple of things I'd like to focus on as well is we're now going to be launching what we call an accountant directory. So we know that a lot of businesses that look for funding don't have an accountant or bookkeeper. Our preference is that every business should have an accountant or bookkeeper, especially moving forward into MTD income tax. What we're looking to do now is that if a client doesn't have an accountant, we can then or a bookkeeper, we can then put them to this page. So they're able to search local area and you're able to see exactly what potential practices are going to be there as well. If you are interested in being on our directory, please reach out after the webinar and one of the customer success managers will reach out on how to get you there as well. So this will be launching in the next week or so. We're also going to be launching a new portal as well. So we've just shown you how easy it is to work around one portal, but it's going to make it easier. So this is going to be the portal moving forward as well. So again, you're going to be able to see what clients you've added, when they've last been contacted from ourselves, the amount they're looking for, and what potential commission that you could potentially achieve off that as well. If you don't feel comfortable with commission, you don't need to take it. It's just something that we're offering as well. You're able to see the average client credit score. So we will give you some teachings on credit scores and what to look out for and how credit scores work. So don't worry about that aspect. But the way that the advisor team is moving into the future is we are going to be more proactive. We're going to be giving you data. We're going to be data led. We're going to be telling you quarter, month on month, every meeting, what the market's looking like, what to look out for. So you're armed with all the information without having to search on Google for it or anything else like that as well. So if you do have a portal, reach out and the customer success managers or will reach out. If you don't, please reach out to ourselves or myself at the end of this webinar. We are at Accountex next week. So if you are, please come and see us at the stand and it'll be great to talk to you more depth about this as well. So before I close the webinar down, Ryan, anything else from yourself?
Well, again, if anyone is looking maybe for some of those sample insight or capital reports, or indeed potentially a credit check of the clients registered at your address, let us know. You will be hearing from us very shortly anyway, but that could be a really, really good way just to kick things up a little notch. And again, just from the perspective of the success team, the way we see ourselves is as an extension of what you're doing. So we don't want to presuppose membership of your or employment in your team necessarily, but you can think of us as sort of your team on the ground here. So whatever it is you need, we're here to help you with that. And again, one thing I think that's almost like housekeeping, but it's probably super important just to mention, from a regulatory perspective, there's nothing you need to do to fall in line with ICAW or ACCA guidelines. We are the FCA regulated party. The onus is on us. You don't need a DPB license to work with us. And we can even share things like letters of engagement as well. So even if you're not taking commission, even if you are taking commission, you're already set up essentially to be working with us either way. But I just wanted to say before I mute myself for the last time today, thanks very much for joining. Some of you I know I already work with already, so you'll be hearing from me soon. Do feel free to reach out. No such question, no such thing as a stupid question. And then hopefully we can see you at Accountex as well next week.
Has anybody got any questions before we close the webinar down? Perfect. Okay, thanks everyone for joining and hopefully you hear from us soon or we'll see you at Accountex next week. Thank you.